3 years ago, I learned that my mother had lied to me my whole life. I found out my father wasn't my biological father, that my mother had been married and widowed while pregnant with me, and that she severed all contact with my biological father's family. Then she met my father, married him, and they agreed to never tell me the truth. I only found this out because my maternal grandmother had me go through some old stuff at her house, and I found photos and documents. I confronted my mother. She told me it didn't matter and to leave it be. So I confronted her and my father. They told me what I learned changed nothing and to forget about it. I demanded they tell me the truth, so I got a story. She never said anything bad about my biological father or his family, only she felt it was best to move on and let my father be the only father I knew about. She didn't want him to be my stepfather. She didn't want me to ever feel like I was anything less than his child. She told me I was never my biological father's child. That she loved him, but he was in the past, and he was in the ground, and his family had no right to stay in my life. My father told me he wanted me to leave it there, and not seek out my biological family. I told them I didn't want anything to do with them again. We were no contact for 2 years, my choice. Finally, I was able to find my biological father's family. They were so happy I reached out. They showed me how they had looked for my mother and me. My mother's family admitted she told them and everyone she knew not to tell them anything about her life and to never share where we were. I got to know them and they became my family. It hasn't always been easy. They have so much grief that they never got to know me growing up. And I feel it too. As well as how robbed I feel that I never got to know my own biological father. I looked just like him. And I always wondered why I look so different from the rest of my family. I also found out my father had set money aside for me, over the weeks he knew my mother was pregnant. About a year ago some contact was reinstated, between my parents and me. I haven't forgiven them. And it's not easy to speak to them. They did learn recently just how involved my father's family is now and how I have my biological relatives around. They don't like this. My mother decided to ask about the future, my wedding, etc., and I said I can't have both there. I told her if she wanted to be there, she needed to accept that my family would be there too. She told me I was choosing someone I never knew over loving parents. She also told me I was her child. I told her to leave me alone, and that she doesn't get to decide what I do with my life. She's still not over what I said. She called me petulant. She told me he was in the ground, and his family had no right to stay in my life. Holy wow, you're not the idiot here, but wow. She denied you access to important family, literally robbing you of life-forming relationships, and now she's still trying to force you to choose between your families. What the heck is she afraid of here? I'd seriously be asking what exactly she has against them. She's being extremely unreasonable. I'm so sorry, OP. She told me I'm choosing someone I never knew over loving parents. You never knew them, because she kept you uninformed and away from them. The biggest difference between OP's situation and the adoptive parent situation is the consent of all parties. The only persons consenting in this situation are OP's mom and stepfather. They made irreversible choices not just for OP, but for OP's biological family as well. They have caused much pain and suffering that simply didn't need to happen. I understand what you're saying though. And while I personally feel that forgiveness will bring closure to OP, I understand that she's not there yet. It is hoped that she will be one day for her own healing. My best guess is that Mom wanted to start over without any strings attached. In Mom's perfect world, she has one father and one mother, 2 sets of grandparents and whatever uncles, aunts and cousins. There's no step-family, no worries kind of situation. To Mom, the movement is that the family is perfect with no blemishes. OP's maternal grandma clearly didn't like this, so she got OP to help clean up that day, conveniently after OP's 18th birthday. I, a 48-year-old male, married my current wife a few months ago, and now we live together with my only daughter Lucy, who is a teenager. My wife has an older daughter who is 21 and in college, and wants to pursue a career in fashion. I've tried to build stronger bonds between my new wife and her daughter with Lucy, because I think she needs active female figures in her life. Lucy's mom travels around the world because of her work as a humanitarian worker. She's a great mother in person, but she's not as present in our daughter's daily life as we would all like. Lucy's relationship with my wife is very good now, but she doesn't seem to connect with her stepsister. Last weekend, my daughter was sleeping at a friend's house, and my stepdaughter was visiting us. At one point, she entered my daughter's room. I'm not sure why. She said she wanted to look at herself in Lucy's makeup mirror. She saw my daughter's cheerleading uniform folded over the chair, and asked me if she could use it to take some pictures for Instagram. She's very active on social media for her fashion career, posting different outfits and looks. I said yes without hesitation. I assume teenage girls don't mind using each other's clothes and things like that socially, especially since it was her stepsister and not a stranger. She posted the pictures, and soon after, my daughter texted me, very upset, and said that I shouldn't have let her use it. I honestly don't think I did anything wrong. I think Lucy is trying to create conflict because she doesn't like her stepsister. Am I the idiot? You are the idiot. Your stepdaughter should never have been in your daughter's room without her permission. This is your daughter's clothing, not yours. A simple text would have cleared up any issues. Additionally, if this is a uniform for your daughter's school, there may be concerns about the use of their logos, colors, and branding. If so, these concerns will fall on your daughter's participation in cheer. It is common for girls to borrow each other's clothing with permission, but it is important to respect boundaries. OP, you should be aware that your daughter could get in trouble with her cheer squad, especially if she attends a public school. In my experience, students were not allowed to let others wear their uniforms or wear them outside of school-sanctioned activities. Allowing an adult to wear her cheerleading uniform for social media attention could have serious consequences. It is worth mentioning that Lucy may not see your stepdaughter as her stepsister, as they do not live together and have not grown up together. It is not fair to force them to have a close relationship, as the usual foundations for step-sibling relationships do not exist. However, your actions have made your daughter feel unsafe in her own home, and have taken away her autonomy, space, and agency. It is not fair to assume that all teenage girls love to share clothes, and it is clear that your stepdaughter does not have a relationship with your daughter. Good luck with your relationship with your daughter, going forward. By the way, your stepdaughter may have set you up. Is the mirror in your daughter's room the only one in the house? It seems that your stepdaughter knew exactly where the uniform was and what she was going to do with it. My ex and I have a teenage daughter together, and she also has 2 other children who are teenagers. We have equal custody. Here's my dilemma. My daughter loves gaming and has been asking her mother and me to buy her a PS5. I bought one for her a few weeks ago, but I decided to wait until after an important and difficult exam to give it to her, as a reward for getting an A+, which I knew she would. However, my ex recently called me and asked me not to buy a PS5 for my daughter. Apparently, she has been bragging to her siblings and making them jealous, because their parents are struggling financially and cannot afford the same privileges as my daughter. My ex gave me a long lecture about how my daughter does not deserve another privilege because of her behavior. I told her I would consider it, but I did not make any promises. A few days ago, my daughter received her exam results, and not only did she get an A+, but she was the only one in her grade to do so. I was extremely proud and decided that she deserved to get her new PS5, and I gave it to her. Yesterday, I took her to her mom's house, and a few minutes after I left, my ex called me screaming at me, asking me why I did it, when she specifically asked me not to do it. She thinks I'm a huge idiot for doing this, but I think as her dad, I should be able to decide what my daughter does or doesn't deserve, and my ex doesn't have the right to tell me what to do. Edit, she took it with her to her mom's house. She especially took it with her to kill time when she was there. Dude, what a terrible choice. You knew mom didn't want her to have it? And you bought it for her anyway? You're now imposing a new issue on mom. Your daughter is now arguing with her siblings, which you knew was already an issue. The PS5 will, by its nature, likely isolate your daughter from her siblings even more. You put mom in a situation where she has to be the bad guy. You're teaching your daughter that she doesn't have to respect mom's rules. So, you are the idiot, not for buying the PS5 but for sending it to mom's house when you knew she didn't want it there. This is the reason that OP is the idiot. It's one thing to control what a kid does in your own home, and another to let the kid have something his ex doesn't want in hers. I sense he's trying to stir up trouble. It is really in the best interest of a child for parents to settle their differences amicably or at least civilly. Be a grown-up, OP. You are rewarding her idiotic behavior. You just taught your daughter that academic achievement is more important and valuable than being a good and kind person. Did you even talk to her about how she's been treating her siblings? Getting her the PS5 is fine, even if her siblings can't have one too. But letting her get away with idiotic behavior because you have this, you can't tell me what to do, attitude with your ex is not okay. She must learn to be gracious about her privilege, and not rub it in other people's faces. My sister 24 and I 28 have always been close, but things have been tense since I got engaged. We've had arguments over everything, from the color of the bridesmaids' dresses, to the types of flowers we're using. But our biggest disagreement is about her boyfriend, 37. They've only been dating for a few months, and I don't feel comfortable having him at my wedding. It's a small affair, and we only invited people we're close with, and who have been a part of our lives for a long time. We didn't want to invite any strangers or people we barely know. When I told my sister she couldn't bring her boyfriend, she was absolutely livid. She accused me of being selfish and not caring about her happiness. She even threatened not to attend the wedding if he couldn't come. I calmly explained my concerns, but I told her I wouldn't compromise on this. It's my wedding day, and I want to be surrounded by people I love and who've been a part of my life. And who have been there for me throughout my life. If I give in and let her bring her boyfriend, it will set a bad precedent for our relationship. But now I am worried that I have ruined our relationship anyway. My sister has not spoken to me in days, and I am afraid she might not even attend the wedding. Am I the idiot for standing my ground and potentially sacrificing my relationship with my sister on my wedding day? You are the idiot. I was not even aware that you could invite someone to a wedding without inviting their significant other. Do not be selfish. Let your sister be happy too. She does not want people to see her without a +1 and make assumptions that she cannot get a man. Unless you think he is going to start a fist fight, propose to her during the first dance, or drink karaoke during the speeches, let the man come. This will come between you and your sister forever if you do not. This is not worth losing a sister over. He is a boyfriend of a few months, not a few years. Not everyone wants or can afford a wedding where everyone and their hamster gets a +1. Not the idiot. You do not need to have your sister's 2-month sugar daddy at your wedding if you do not want to. Note: all relationships with one person under 25 and another over 35 are sugar situations, until proven otherwise, in my opinion. LOL, cute that you think young women are getting loads of money out of these age gap relationships. Most of the time there is zero sugar. Just a lot of taking advantage of vulnerability and naivete on one side, and being naive and feeling special on the other side. Big age gaps where one person is under 25 are a huge red flag. She is an adult. It is her life, yada yada. But we all know that is rarely an indication of an equal, happy, healthy relationship. That combined with OP's vague distrust of this guy is all I need to know for not wanting him to be a part of OP's big day. OP, you have a valid concern. However, I do want to know why she has had any real say in your wedding so far. You said, "We have had arguments over everything from the color of the bridesmaid dresses to the type of flowers we are using." If she is complaining about flowers, dresses, and now the boyfriend, just uninvite her since she is causing your happy day to be so drama-filled. Background: for my 24th birthday, my dad got me a gray metal KitchenAid stand mixer for my apartment. It was about $700, I think. However, I did not ask for this. And honestly, I hate the color as it does not match anything in my place. It is also too big. I gave it to my friend who liked it and was moving to a different state. My boyfriend then got me a cute black stand mixer that fits into my apartment much better. So that is what I have. My dad was over last night and he noticed that the gray stand mixer was gone and replaced by the black one. He asked where it was and I told him the truth, namely that I thought the gray was so ugly. So I gave it to my friend and my boyfriend got me the black one instead. My dad was shocked and said the gray stand mixer had cost a lot and that he thought I would have liked it. So that's why he gave it to me as a present. Maybe here's where I'm the idiot. I said if he had been more observant, he would have known that I hate gray, my least favorite color. Everyone in my life who knows me knows that. I honestly wasn't trying to be rude, I was just stating a fact. But my mom called me today and told me I really hurt my dad and needed to apologize for throwing away a thoughtful birthday gift that my dad put a lot of money and thought into. I don't think that's necessary. I think after my dad gave me the stand mixer, it became mine. And I could do anything with it. And I didn't throw it away. I gave it to a friend. So am I the idiot? Did you even thank him for this $700 gift? This is one of those instances where it's time to come back down to earth. Because at age 24 expecting people to know your least favorite color is absolutely bizarre. And saying it's because he isn't observant is wildly mean. The attitude on you is absolutely astounding, dude. You are the idiot. For starters, saying that you hate gray but love black makes no sense. Almost any color scheme you can pair with black works with gray. Also, you're 24, grow up. Not everyone knows your least and most favorite colors, unless they ask. In fact, most people only know others' favorite colors. They don't carry around a ranked list. Secondly, it was $700. If you didn't want it, you could have kindly said no thank you, instead of giving away something that cost a lot of money. The correct and polite thing to have done would have been to ask your dad if he wanted it back. That mixer comes in like 15 different colors. I'm sure your dad would have exchanged it for a color you like, including black, if you had used your words. That was my thought too. OP is a brat who doesn't even appreciate a gift that most people drool over. All because it's not the right color? Are you kidding me? Suppose someone gifted me an ugly brown, my least favorite color, KitchenAid, or other expensive product. In that case, I might be a bit disappointed with the color, but ecstatic to have this really nice thing that I would never have splurged on for myself. I hope your dad never wastes so much money on a gift for you, since you truly don't appreciate it. Update. Okay, so clearly I'm the idiot. I'll apologize to my dad. I didn't think it was such a big deal. I didn't say the observant comment to hurt him. He kept saying he picked out gray because it matches everything, which it does not. So that's why I elaborated on my hatred for gray. Everyone I'm close with except my dad knows that I hate gray. It's almost a running joke at this point. Also, my friend is really into cooking and baking, and I wanted to give her a going away gift. She's not just some random person I gave it to.